Greetings. Welcome to Riverside Center for Innovation Boost Your Business webinar series. My name is James Myers Jr., Director of Community and Business Development. During these interesting times, one of our goals at RCI is to help you transform into a digital citizen. We want you to be aware of the business tools with technology that are available and know how to use them. To gain access to our webinar series, please register and become a member of our Diversity Business Resource Center at dbrcpittsburgh.org. And you can find our website at riversidecenterforinnovation.com. Greetings and good afternoon. Welcome to Riverside Center for Innovation Boost Your Business webinar series. Today you will hear first from my colleague Tanisha Smith, who will lead the presentation on Inspire to Pivot. And then you will hear from our local business owners who took the leap of faith during these interesting times. We'll go right into Tanisha's presentation, and then I'll do some short bios leading into our presenters. And hopefully all this information you hear today will be informative and useful, and you can use it as a tool moving forward.
Hi, so I'm going to try to quickly go through this because I want to spend more time letting our speakers present and ask questions. And this is not how-to, it's pretty much like an inspiration and maybe just some basic steps that you want to look into and think about if you're deciding that pivoting is actually for your business. So, and also this webinar is going to be available on our website later to view if you didn't catch on to something. Emily, do you want to share that?
Yes, and I want to add one more thing. We do have a survey in the chat. We want to learn from you guys to let us know what other additional webinars would help you as small business owners. We also want you to remember to register and become a member of the DBRC, the Diversity Business Resource Center. And also make sure you visit our website at riversidecenterforinnovation.com. The DBRC website is dbrcpittsburgh.org.
James, you do that so perfect. So, and we can skip to the next one. So I basically start out, pivots are normal and a necessary process in every business that you have. And today after this brief presentation, we're going to have our guest speakers, Asia Cook from Cook's Catering, Samantha Klein. She is a Chief Operating Officer at Day Owl, and she asked to be called Tan Bailey. She's from Misunderstood Beards, and Bernard Alexander from the Minority Exchange and the owner of CKV Sweets. So the theme that we're going to have for this webinar is never let a good crisis go to waste. And that was quoted by Winston Churchill. So the first thing that I thought may be a good thing to do is to look at the crisis that's happening or any situation, the economy, whatever is happening at the time, and think about solving the problem. So you want to listen to your customers. What exactly do they need? Is this even a problem that you can solve for them? You know, what is going on in the economy? Is it feasible for them to actually take advantage of the resource or product or services that you're going to provide? You want to adapt to their pain, so you want to remain sympathetic. You know, like in our climate right now, a lot of people are going through financial issues. They don't have ways to get around to wherever they need to go. They're stuck at home with children. There's no childcare. So you want to always keep the economy and what's going on in mind when you decide to change or pivot your business. So you also want to take a look into the future and think about what's going to be the new normal. So even though they're opening Pennsylvania, they're trying to get back to work, we still have to wear masks, we still have to sanitize, we still have to stay clean, our kids are still home. So you want to think about all that as the new normal going forward. And how will this new normal and the economy affect your business? And then when you go down to the marketing of your pivot, you want to send the right message. So you want to adapt your marketing to face the sudden change in the market. So like I said, you want to keep in mind, you want to be sympathetic to or cater to whatever is going on at that moment. You've seen a lot of commercials change to take notice or give due credit to the health industry or the frontline workers. So they're keeping their marketing sympathetic to what's going on in the economy. And then It also says it's a perfect time to get rid of what isn't working and into what is working. So pivoting in a situation such as what's going on right now is a perfect time. Nobody's paying attention or thinking twice about you switching to something else because everybody's doing it. You can skip it, Emily. So another thing that is very prominent right now is embracing technology. I know you're either all for technology or you really don't want to get on the bandwagon, but you do want to focus on the digital version of your business. You can provide your services via online platforms, and your product can be shipped or delivered. So you want to think about how technology can provide access to whatever you're offering, or how can you make your product or service easier, accessible, and connect more with the customers you already have. Brand loyalty is huge, and your already supporting audience is your biggest champion. So you always want to keep in mind and don't leave them behind. So I listed a few examples. You can read them later, but a couple of them were real estate agents offering virtual tours, or gyms offering virtual training sessions via Zoom or Skype or something like that. The next one, Em. And then you want to leverage your already existing assets and resources. So you want to take a look at what you have online, what you have on hand, what supplies you have on hand, what can you get easily accessible to. If you have vendors, suppliers, what can you easily get to from them? Do you need funding? Do you need help creating? Do you need assistance? And what talent and skills you have on hand right now, such as, do your employees have talents? Are they really good at something? Do you have skills that you haven't put to use in a while that you can offer as a service to charge or free of charge, just to get people to build, to recognize your brand? And what can you change easily without it being too far out of your reach? And then there's also more examples. I found cosmetic companies that are now producing sanitizers and soap instead of focusing on makeup. And then we have large companies like Gap, Nike, who are now producing hospital scrubs and masks, because that's what everybody's asking for at this point. There's a shortage of it, so the demand is out there. And then you want to explore possibly the benefits of joint venturing. So collaborating can lead to new ideas and business partners. Partnering can open up new customer base, marketplaces, strategies, funding, products, assets, resources. And I thought a good idea would be to offer a bundle package. If they have sanitizer and you have masks, maybe partner with them and offer a package together, and maybe you can upcharge it a couple dollars and split the profit. Then I list more examples, like a lot of restaurants, ice cream parlors are partnering with Uber Eats and Postmates, which is something they didn't do before because maybe they didn't need a delivery service. And then I want to mention that we are offering a joint venture webinar. It is scheduled for the 7th at 2:30. And we're also doing a webinar called Tips, Policies, Tools to Consider before doing online businesses. And that's May 5th at 2:30. And then I just wanted to always keep everybody inspired and say, embrace the pivot and don't give up. And then I just, wanted to throw a little out there and say, Dyson created over 5,000 vacuums before he became successful. So just because your first idea doesn't work or the next idea doesn't work, if this is for you, entrepreneurship is for you, you just keep trying, continue, never give up.
Thank you, Tanisha. That was a great presentation, easy to follow and easy to understand. Do want to give another plug for that joint venture workshop that is scheduled for next Thursday, May 7th at 2:30. That'll actually be hosted by Denton's, Cohen and Grigsby law firm. They'll be bringing a pretty informative presentation to you guys in terms of opportunities that you can take advantage of by pairing together and forming that joint venture. The first entrepreneur that we'll hear from today that will give you her story, and I'll give you a short bio today, is Asia Cook from Cook's Catering, Cook's Culinary Management. Asia is a driven leader working to make an impact in the world. She has been working as an operations manager for both her co-owned food business for 3 years. Cook's Catering is a diverse menu catering company that serves great food, provides great service, and allows their clients to feel like a priority. While Cook's Culinary Management is a FSMC that serves the needs of children and the quality of food being served during school hours, in 2019, Asia fiercely took on the role of a business and food management consultant. Her desire is to be the missing link between vision and execution in her clients' businesses. And with no further delay, I would like to introduce Asia Cook.
Hello, everybody. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Thank you so much for having me. Really excited to be a part of this seminar, just to really touch base on what's important during this time and how we can just come together to overcome something so tremendous. What's really wonderful about this whole experience is that we get to witness over and over again how important it is to collaborate, to come together. A lot like what Tanisha was addressing is it's important to adapt to a need as a business owner. And before I go into just how we pivoted in our businesses, I just want to give you guys a little background. So again, I do work as a COO, as well as you can say an executive director for all of our companies. I handle all of our business and our backgrounds, our finances, our marketing, and everything that really comes through our business. I like to be hands-on with it all. And my husband, Nolan Cook, he is our chef and our executive director for both of our companies. He has been trained and has gone to school for cooking and for culinary expertise for a long time, and he's awesome. So without further ado, I just want to discuss how our company decided to pivot during this time. So as far as our catering company, a lot of our catering clients are corporate and event need based. So we dealt with a lot of luncheons, meetings, ribbon cuttings, all those things that would need a caterer. It wasn't more so seasonal or wedding. We were year-round caterers. And the impact of COVID-19 hit us pretty hard because caterers, if it's on a need-to-need basis, then we lost a lot more business than we can gain right now. So a lot of people are pivoting in a way where they're doing orders and takeouts, which we are still available for, especially through third parties. However, the way that we wanted to overcome this by looking at the bigger picture for both of our companies was to assess the need and attack that, be a part of the solution. And the solution in this case is that we have people who need work right now. We have a lot of caterers out of work and a lot of job placement that needs help. So our catering company actually is partnering with our for-profit organization, Linking Arms Culinary and Collaboration, as well as with Food 21 and the Food Bank to provide meals to food insecure neighborhoods. So our catering company is going to be one of the caterers in the front line, just pushing out those meals so we can really get meals to our community and to the people who can't reach the food bank and who can't reach other resources that are in a distance to them. And as far as our culinary management company goes, because our culinary management company caters to students in school, right now students are obviously not in school. Schools are closed. However, you'll see a lot of people are collaborating with bus companies to provide lunch either at your children's bus stop or at a central located school where all the kids can come and pick up pack-to-go lunches. We are also taking part of that initiative in this pivot, and that's going to take us into a position where we're going to provide food for students on a need basis. Kids who were coming to school and that was their only meal during the time that they were in school during the weekdays. And our mission is to serve them. So not just serve them, but serve the families that they're living with, because right now we're all in the same predicament. So just to end this all off, this is a really great opportunity to exercise a lot of muscles that we may have ignored previously. This gives us the opportunity to jump out of what was normalcy for us and recreate a new normalcy. It's actually quite thrilling and exciting if we can just take our mind off of what's happening in the natural and really focus on what could happen or what we can manifest through the situation, and really, really paying attention to the need right now. A really good pivot is going to pay attention to the need, just as Tanisha stated, and all of the wonderful examples that she gave to just address and support everything that she said. It's very, very true that if we're not focusing on the need, that we're missing out on an opportunity to expand and to grow and to become resilient as we come out of this. So thanks, everybody. If anybody has questions, I'm open to answer them.
Thank you, Asia. We're looking in the chat to see if there's any questions. Actually, there was just some kudos from Jamila Davis that was saying collaboration is key, and glad to hear about your giving back and hard work. I think you have a pretty dynamic story, and definitely, you know, shows a lot of resilience in these interesting times.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I have a question.
Okay.
How soon in advance, if we wanted to get meals for kids, should we contact you?
So if you're going to receive meals through Cook's Culinary Management, the upside is that you would get reimbursed as long as you're following the NSLP requirements and you're a part of the SFA sponsors. So that's first point. Second point is, whenever you contact us, we will be prepared to detail a schedule to get meals out as soon as possible. We're working on a need basis right now. So if you're telling us that there are children who need food, we're gonna have some urgency under us and try to put you right into the schedule of our current contracts and get you right on board. And it really just comes down to how quickly we can fulfill an invoice or how quickly we can fulfill the details of a culinary agreement. It's really all it comes down to.
Do you need volunteers to help deliver or to give food to people, or you guys do all the delivery yourself, other than us company?
That is a really great question. So currently we're working on doing our own delivery service. However, we have a really big project in the works, as I stated, with Linking Arms Culinary and Collaboration, Food 21, and possibly the Food Bank. And I don't want to just throw their partnership out there yet.
Right.
However, with that initiative, that pilot, we will definitely need volunteers. The more hands on deck, the better, because we're going to be reaching out to communities around Pittsburgh. So, but we're going to be putting out some promotional and marketing information for that so that we can get volunteers brought in. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. And if you want to contact me, I can be contacted through our website, www.cookscateringllc.com, or through our email, ncookscatering@gmail.com. Please feel free to reach out to me, email me about anything. I make sure I'll get back to you and we'll discuss it.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Asia.
Thank you, Emily, for putting that through. And yes, thank you, James.
No problem, no problem. So the next voice we'll hear from is Samantha Klein. Samantha Klein is the Chief Operating Officer at Day Owl, the parent company to Thread International. Sam joined Thread in 2017 after spending almost 10 years in traditionally corporate retail. After 5 years at American Eagle after 5 years at American Eagle and the birth of her first son, she was ready to find work that could have a positive impact on the world her children would grow up in. She joined Ian at Thread to test the idea of a D2C business for Thread's materials. Sam now runs operations for Day Owl, the D2C brand under Thread, which uses the first mile materials to create truly sustainable products. In addition to using the most sustainable materials, Day Owl provides employment opportunities for the members of the Homewood community where the headquarters are based. And now I would like to introduce Samantha Klein.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. This is a very nice break and opportunity to actually reflect on the work that we've been doing for the last, I don't even know now, a month. And it's really fun to hear about what other people are doing right next door to us. So there are so many similarities already in just what I've heard so far. So the themes are spot on. But essentially the short story of what we've been up to at Day Owl is we had just launched our consumer-facing brand called Day Owl. We've been Thread International for the last 4 or 5 years. And at the end of 2019, beginning of 2020, we officially pivoted in the spirit of this conversation. We pivoted to have 2 distinct business lines. So we had a direct-to-consumer business line, which is called Day Owl and sells backpacks. And then Day Owl uses our supply chain business, which is called First Mile, because our backpacks are made from post-consumer recycled plastic bottles. So the short story is we had been alive for 3 months. We launched in January, and we were on a really, really nice trajectory of selling, of creating this brand anchored in sustainability. And on March 15th, everything tanked. Our sales dropped off 80%, just like the rest of retail. We couldn't get into our space to fulfill. We're in the 7800 Susquehanna building. We do our fulfillment out of our office. So everything just came to a screeching halt. And as a leadership team, we kind of sat around and figured we were really just figuring out what do we do in this time. The easy answer is, do we just shut our doors? We don't have that much overhead, and do we just go home? And obviously none of us wanted to do that because we've been working on this for years. And we were fortunate enough to have had the relationship with RK Mellon and Bridgeway Capital and everyone involved with the Susquehanna building, that we were actually approached by them to see if we could shift gears and produce PPE for hospitals, clinics, people who are in desperate need and can't get their hands on it from their traditional supply chains because they were just so overwhelmed, and the state wasn't reacting fast enough. And so I got a phone call from Ian saying, like, do you think we could do this? And I said, of course. It can't be that hard. We'll figure it out. And then 2 days later, we had a purchase order for 30,000 units. So we spent 2 weeks, we spent a week really calling everyone we know in manufacturing. We very quickly came across Protohaven, which was across the busway from us, and then engineers at the University of Pittsburgh who had already been or were in the process of designing face shields that could be easily manufactured if you had a laser machine or a die cutter. And so we instantly collaborated with them in the spirit of collaboration to help understand their design, understanding the manufacturing process that was involved with it. And then, my favorite part of the operation is that as soon as we had the purchase order in hand and the supply chain built, we got to go hire 16 people that had been furloughed. So we put together a really quick job description. We shared it through our building, through Bridgeway's network, through, I'm on the board of the JCC. I sent it out to the JCC because they had to furlough a ton of employees. And we had over 80 applicants in 48 hours. And so we hired 15 people and a supervisor, and they have been assembling face shields out of our office and shipping them, 8 hours a day. We have volunteer shifts every night, volunteer shifts on the weekends. As of tomorrow, we will have shipped 45,000 shields, and in the neck will be done for now in about 2 weeks, and the total will be 75,000 shields. And it's, my biggest advice, I guess, is that none of this has anything to do with Day Owl. None of this has anything to do with the backpack. It has everything to do with what our world needs and what our customer doesn't need. So I could sit here like, every other retailer and try really hard to convince people that they need a backpack made of recycled plastic bottles. And I really hope that one day they will need that. But right now they can't leave their house. And so accepting what our customers, the reality of our customers' lives and all of our lives is step one. And then figuring out how to keep your business alive is step two. And we have no intention of making face shields for the next year. I hope we're done after 2 weeks, and I hope the world doesn't need them. But it allows us to keep the lights on. It allows us to put some money back into our local economy, and it allows us to not have to beg our customers to spend money on something that they frankly shouldn't be spending on right now. So that's the story.
No, that's a great story. I think definitely shows that you were able to pivot, and I think we talk about this all the time in business, being able to fulfill a need or solve a problem. And it looks like you hit that head on, you hit that nail right on the head, right? It's a win-win situation.
Yeah.
I will open it up for questions right now. I think we just put your website in the chat, is dayowl.com.
Yep.
But I'll see if we have any questions from anybody that's on the call right now.
Okay, it's me again.
That's right.
I don't have a question, but I just want to say, like, kudos to you, because when we came on here, you had a kid on your lap, and I'm a mother of 4, and I just had to, like, push one out of the corner.
Oh, I don't know what they're doing.
And yeah, so kudos to you. I mean, you too, Asia. If you have kids, like, it's hard. So, you know, to think outside the box on how, you know, you could take your business and help us now at this time is just a great thing. So
I was thinking the same thing, Samantha. Really, I mean, that story was absolutely phenomenal. And you made a really good point of just focusing on how to help people first, and then everything else will come.
Yeah.
And I had to pretend like I left the house so my son, my 2-year-old, didn't come in here while I'm having it.
The only way I get work done, I mean, honestly, we had to get a certificate from the governor saying we were now an essential business so we could get back into our space. And it is the only way to get work done, is to be able to go back to my office in the afternoons. But yeah, I mean, I think it's what gets me the best part about this project has been specific to Pittsburgh, the number of people and organizations that have helped us do this, you know, whether or not they were paid or just volunteered or just wanted to be a part of something to help our own community has been unbelievable. And I don't think other cities would have that. I hope, you know, I hope some do, but it's just been truly remarkable to see the number of people that just want to do what's right now and want to be a part of it. And we are, you know, we spent about a week chasing down people to see if they would buy more shields, and the need seems to have softened, which is good. But we're on to the next. So, you know, I'm devastated of the fact that I have to dissolve this, you know, this mini organization that we've built of these 16 people, because they won't have jobs in 10 days. So we're searching for the next thing, you know, whether that's face masks or where the need is. And it's just a balancing act of funding and all the things that we all fight and struggle with every day. But yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, it's like to be able to help our own community is what matters most, and to do it through business.
we may have to collaborate.
When you said masks, we will be talking.
Yep.
Sounds good. I think that's a perfect plug for our joint venture workshop coming up next Thursday.
Exactly.
I wanted to, sorry, I didn't want to interrupt, but I left this out, but I noticed a vital part of what you and Asia said was acting quickly on your idea. Like, this all happened so quick, but you have already put your team together, assembled everything, got your material, like you acted on it so quickly. So don't sit on it. If you have idea, like you say, we don't know how long this pandemic is going to last out, but you have already fulfilled 45,000 orders. So I just wanted to point that out.
My mantra for my team is publish and iterate. So you're never going to get it 100% right. Just get it out there and adjust as you go.
Definitely. And we see you guys, you know, as a small business owner, practicing business ethics and social responsibility as you transition and pivot. We definitely wish you the best of luck, and RCI is here to help you and assist you with any resources that you may need moving forward. We will move into Tam Bailey and her bio and get, you know, some information from her as well. Tam Bailey, Misunderstood Beards LLC, is a licensed barber and hair loss specialist. Full-time barbers and groomers who have been out of work for over a month. She says she picked up her first pair of clippers at 13 and started cutting family members. At 12, her father brought her first sewing machine, and she's been out of work for over a month. So now she's realizing through conversations and still having a sewing machine from 6th grade, how she could actually make masks. Her quote, she's being quoted as saying, "I knew I had to be different because everyone was making masks. So I decided to get creative with the client to create what I call custom masks." And with no further delay, we'll hear the story from Tam Bailey herself.
Okay. Hi. This is my first Zoom meeting and have to talk, so I'm a little bit nervous. But yeah, so I just decided to start making masks because honestly, I was at home for 2 weeks with 4 kids and it was driving me crazy. I just kind of needed something to do to pull me away, to have a break from them. And once I started it, I realized that it was a need for everybody. But then I started also realizing that more and more people were making masks. So I had to find a way to separate myself from everyone else. So while masks are a need, I realized that some people don't want to wear the mask because they don't like the way that they look. For me, as a barber, a lot of people know me for my fashion and my style. So I figured I better take that and apply it to my mask. So I started creating little fashionable masks, such as these. This is actually one of my favorite ones right here. The difference between my mask and other people's mask is that you can choose your fabric, you can choose your design. This side is suede. As you see, this side has a design, so you can kind of create it however you like. My mask also comes with pockets on the side for filters. I include one filter for you. And then if you want more, you can also purchase more. For kids, a lot of people are buying them for their kids because the designs are different. A lot of kids don't want to wear the mask now. They absolutely hate them. So I just wanted to, you know, kind of give people a chance to have some fun while having to wear a mask. But moving forward, I also realized that there was a need for a certain kind of mask, and I can't really say what it is. Maybe in another week or so I can. But I've also partnered with a company to work with them to get masks for their workers. It's just something that people weren't doing, which is why I said Samantha, her and I will have to probably collaborate on something. I don't know. See here. Let me see, what else did I do? This week I was able to register my business and actually get a website that I'm working on, and it is called Kustomask, Kustomask. So we're currently working on that site to get some designs up and also some samples of our fabric. For right now, I've just been using my Facebook, which is under Misunderstood Beards, MSUNDERSTOODBEARDZ. So you can find me on Facebook. A lot of people have been inboxing me requesting masks. I just had somebody purchase 30 of them. I was able to complete that project in 2 days, and which I'm very proud of. I did have my kids helping me too, because they sit around and I get tired of them being on the game. So I kind of wanted to spend time with them after missing them all day, them doing their homework. And so I would bring them into my sewing room and have them help me and work on the mask. I also ship out to people. I also deliver because I know that some people can't drive. I've had older women or older men with health issues that can't get to my side of town, so I've had to take it to them. So from this, I'm hoping that I could reach a market that nobody has been able to reach, and it's more than about the mask or the design or the fashion part about it. It's about just protecting us and being able to provide a service that everybody can't get to or that they can't keep up with. I've had to order elastic. I've had to order fabrics because going into the stores, they're not available. I know that it's been hard for people, but I've been able to partner with somebody who's been able to get me my fabric and my elastic very fast. So I'm happy about that. So when people place their orders, I can fulfill them in a timely manner. So that's my story.
No, thank you, Tan. That is a great story, to be honest with you. I guess I got a few questions just coming from me personally. So we've been hearing about, you know, the different types of masks and, you know, kind of rumors and innuendo. What is the right mask? What is the wrong mask? I heard you mentioning the filter. I wanted to know if you could speak on that a little bit.
Sure. So before I got started, even with the fabric, I did a lot of research on what they were suggesting, the type of fabric that we should use. So although my masks sometimes get into a little bit of fashion, like suede and leather, The good thing about the leather is, for one, you can wipe the leather off. And typically with the leather, you don't need a filter. I've worn a leather mask. It does not get hot if it's on a cool day, and I don't need a filter. If I wear the cotton mask, I do like a filter in there. And the filter is a suggested material that the CDC recommended. So I looked it up and I found out where to purchase it, and I brought it, and I just made sure that I include it with my mask. They suggest that you put it in between the two materials. It does not stop you from getting COVID-19, but it can help with you releasing it from your mask or from the droplets entering your mask. I definitely wanted to put that out there. By no means does it stop you from getting the virus. Not any of the masks. The fabric mask will stop you from getting the virus, but because it's suggested that we cover our face when we go into stores and when we're dealing with people, a lot of people were comfortable having the filters in there.
Thank you, Tan. We do have a question about the look of the mask. So somebody really liked the first one that you put on. So they was asking, could you model it for us again?
This is my favorite mask, and yes, so if you wear glasses, the best thing to do is to take your glasses off. What I like about my mask is that they sit up high above the nose. The elastic is pretty tight and it's pretty comfortable. I also make them in different sizes. That's the good thing about customizing them, because we all have different size faces. So a lot of people are buying masks and either they're too big or they're too small. So.
Yeah, that's pretty fashionable.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite ones. It is. So, and then I have this one right here.
Very nice.
Right. So with a lot of people, because they are customized, I do a lot of video chatting with them so that I can see their face. But also because we can't do, contact, it's best that we do it over the phone, and that way they can see all the materials that I have and they're able to pick and choose and they can mix and match.
Yeah, I think you're going to get a few orders just from this plane right now, right?
Yes. It's a fun thing. Like I said, nobody wants to wear a mask. So, I mean, if we're going to wear them and it's going to be around for a while, why not make it fun?
True indeed. True. Now, can we ask you, what is the price of the mask as far as individually or buying them in bulk?
So buying in bulk, they can inbox me and we can discuss that. But for the kids masks, they're $15, and for the adult masks, they are $20. If you start getting into fancy items like this, they're just $25. Some of the kids masks have rhinestones on them, and they also have buttons on them. I always like to check with the parents before I put them on there, or if they request them, to let them know that they are hand sewn on there. And if your child is a child that pulls them, be careful, because I don't want them choking off of it. So I make sure that I do throw that out there, but they tend to get really cute.
They are really nice. So one other question I got for you, are they machine washable?
They are machine washable. For a mask with the rhinestones, I would put it on a gentle cycle. If you have a laundry bag, which is a netted bag, I would put it in there, or I would just simply hand wash it. For my leather mask, like I said, I spray, or I wipe the outside of it and then I spray the inside. Because I'm not really out the house that much, I don't really change my mask that much, or I might throw it in the dryer, or like maybe throw the blow dryer on there, depending on the material. So you just really have to use your discretion, because they can be very delicate. So I would just wash them, or on the general cycle, or hand wash them.
Sounds good. Thank you for that, Tan.
Thank you.
You're getting all kudos in the chat. People are saying that your product is very nice. Those are dope.
Thank you.
Super nice. I think we have one kind of a personal question, but also something that we covered last week in terms of OSHA and, work safety. And it basically, in terms of you actually going back to work to kind of do your barbering and salon skills, how do you feel about opening up, or other barbers opening up at this time?
So I was actually in the barbershop today cleaning up, because I did look at the guidelines, and the barbershop has been empty for a few weeks. So if there was anything living there, it's dead. But I think that going forward, every barber should be wearing a mask. And every client should be wearing a mask. It's possible if they wear a mask, and for me, I'm going to have them available for my clients that don't have them. But if a client could wear a mask where the elastic comes around the ear, it's easy to give a haircut. I suggest that if you get to the front of the face, if you choose to do the front of your client's face, their beard or their mustache, that you take their mask off, or they take their mask off, and you tell them, don't talk while I'm doing the front of your face. And you just stand back as far as you can. I think that we will do good if everybody follows the guidelines, which would also include changing their capes for every client. And so I've ordered plastic capes, shampoo capes that would be easy for me to wipe off. For me, I do appointments only. So my clients, I would spread them out. So they would come in, my appointments haircuts normally last about a half hour, at the most 45 minutes. And then I would give it maybe about 15, 20 minutes in between each client so that I could spray the air, I could wipe the chair down, I could clean my tools, and that everybody's coming into a fresh space. So with the other barbers too, we want everybody to pretty much get on an appointment system. If somebody does walk in, the barber can take their phone number, and the client can sit in the car, and we can let them know. We'll text you when we're ready, and then you can come on in. But we definitely don't want people waiting in the barber shop, sitting up under each other. We want to make sure that we have hand sanitizers at our stations, that the clients use it before they sit down. We hope that they're considerate enough to not come in with a fever or with symptoms to pass it on to us. Now, for me, I'm lucky. I have my own room. So some people know I have my own room. So it's just me and the client. So I have the advantage that I don't have to be around other barbers. It's just always me and the client. And I'm pretty on time with my appointments. So they're in, they're out, I clean, they come in, and then we can move forward.
No, definitely. Thank you for that, Tanya. It seems like, you checked all the boxes of when it comes to like the OSHA standards and making sure, your operation is properly cleansed and whatnot. I almost feel like you're going to have one of those like forehead thermometers.
If I could find one, I would, but they're all sold out. But trust me, I was already like a germaphobe. I had a lot of OCD before this. And after this, if you're that kind of person, it could really do something to you.
Understand. We do have a question from the audience. It comes from Lucille Plummer. She's asking, where is your shop located?
So my shop is located in Shadyside on Baum Boulevard, right across from the Shell gas station. It's called The Barber's Inn. There's a few locations, but I'm at The Barber's Inn, and I work in the back of the barber shop where Kiva helped me, and I really, really appreciate it. Thank you. And it helped me build this room back there. So I also built this room because I do hair loss, and a lot of clients needed privacy for consultations. Through cutting hair, I realized that people were dealing with mental health issues. They were dealing with anxiety when they were getting their hair cut. I have people that come in that have autism, and it's just best that in some situations that they have their own space so that they can feel comfortable.
Thank you. We definitely appreciate that, Tan. One question, or more like a suggestion in terms of, I guess, how you roll out appointments. Are you looking at limiting the number of people in the shop at one time?
Yes, so each barber, the barber, there's 5 barbers, so no one should have a client waiting in the shop. The only people that should be in the shop are the clients getting haircuts. And like I said, if they don't have an appointment and they want to wait, they can wait outside in their car, or we can give them a time to come back, because not everybody drives. We can give them a time to come back. It's going to be a little bit frustrating for some people who are used to walking in, but for the most part, we hope that everybody understands that we're doing this for everybody's safety. So we don't want people hanging in, because our barbershop was that kind of barbershop. We have a pool table. We were giving out complimentary drinks, and we had the big screen TV. So people, they would come in sometimes and to their appointments early and hang out, but right now we just can't allow that.
Okay. Thank you for that, Tan. We got one more question before we actually go into Bernard Alexander's presentation. Lucille asked again, Can you talk about your process with individuals who experience hair loss? And is this for men or women, or is it more or less like a treatment plan?
So with the hair loss, it's for men, women, and children. And I wish I had the hair piece down here. What it is if you go through chemotherapy or you have alopecia, or for the men who typically start balding from the forehead back, what I do is I create customized hair pieces. So for some women, or for mostly women who like to get weave, if they're bald in one spot, they typically get their whole hair done. For me, I can provide a service where you don't have to get your whole head done with extensions. I can create a custom made piece for maybe a bald area that's just right here, or for the guys, the area that's just up in here. And the piece lasts anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks. And depending on your lifestyle will also depend on what type of material the hair will go on. So we do a consultation. I examine your hair to see the thickness, the thinness of your hair, the color, the texture, and I match your hair up. If you're a person that sweats a lot and you're in the gym or you work out, then I have the hair placed on a different kind of material that could uphold you swimming and showering. If you're a person that goes to the dermatologist and you get scalp treatments, then I have the hair placed on a mesh kind of material so you don't have to remove the piece to get scalp treatments. And then I also do the full wigs and design those. But mostly the barbering, because a lot of guys are experiencing hair loss and they don't have anywhere to go. Like, they're not going to go to a hair salon and look for a stylist like to put some hair on top of their head. So I like to let the men know that I'm here for them too, that there is help out there for them too. For the women, I'm here for them as well. I love treating everybody, and even kids that might be going through treatments and they want to feel comfortable about themselves. I can do hair pieces, and then I maintain a hair piece. And for the men, you can continue to get haircuts without taking your hair piece off until it's time for me to remove it and then reapply it.
Thank you, Tan. You have a dynamic story, and we definitely want to stay connected with you at RCI.
My services are multicultural. Sorry.
No, great plug. That's a great plug.
It is.
Yeah, so that was a question, and that went through, and I'm glad you answered yes to that question. So we will move on to Bernard Alexander. Bernard is the Minority Networking Exchange and also CKV Suites co-working and event space. Bernard Alexander is an inspiring leader in the areas of business education, workforce development, and he's passionate about helping people realize the dream of entrepreneurship. In 2006, Mr. Alexander created the Minority Networking Exchange. The Minority Networking Exchange provides opportunities for networking, education, and collaboration. Bernard hosts a variety of business and social networking events. He recently launched CKV Suites. CKV Suites is a multi-purpose space that is a combination of co-working and event space. Bernard is a trustee for the Kiva International crowdfunding platform, and he has endorsed the most small business loans in Pennsylvania. We would like to extend a warm welcome to Bernard and let him roll out his story.
Thank you, James. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for the bio, and shout out to RCI and Kiva. I'm proud to say that I'm actually Tan's trustee. So very proud of how she has evolved and pivoted and took a problem and made a solution out of it. So to all the entrepreneurs on a Zoom today, congratulations for everyone who has made the pivot. I personally haven't made a pivot yet. I think, personally speaking, I think a lot of entrepreneurs won't know what to do until the dust settles. So a lot of entrepreneurs won't know what they need or what they should do until they actually have an opportunity for the doors that open, especially for the businesses that have been totally shut down as a result of COVID-19. So I'm just going to give a few tips on my suggestions on how to pivot. And one of the first things is a self-assessment. I believe each entrepreneur needs to do a self-assessment on what they currently offer as far as products and services, and what do people really need. I think one of the pretty cool things, especially in Western PA, that we saw as a result of COVID-19, leading into the end of the first week of the stay-at-home order, as everyone was getting antsy and nervous, one of the blessings that came out of everything is the local DJs, and seeing how all the DJs at different points in time every day went live on Facebook. And as a result, a lot of folks, you know, started tipping the DJs, and so created opportunities for DJs to generate revenue, since a lot of the regular spots that they would be at on a normal day, normal week, is shut down. So that is example of a great pivot. Now you're actually starting to see poets go live, and I will be sponsoring a group of poets who will be going live this Sunday evening. So one, do a self-assessment, find out how your business could, what problems could your business solve? And I think that's one of the first things. So as the other speakers eloquently gave a lot of examples of how they, within their business, made that pivot. So they're actually solving problems. I think one of the easiest things to do right now, and this is my second point, and it's free, it doesn't cost you any money at all, is to create a poll and survey the folks that are around you, survey your customers, survey your circle, especially those of you who utilize social media. A lot of business owners have, they're part of private groups or public groups that have a lot of entrepreneurs in those groups. One of the things that Facebook allows is that you can create a poll with an unlimited number of options. So some of you can simply create questions, poll questions in some of these groups, and get tangible results and answers right there. You can also use SurveyMonkey. I believe SurveyMonkey, you can ask up to 10 questions for free. You can get up to 100 people to reply for free. And these are just a couple different ways where you can reach out to people within your sphere of influence to find out exactly what do they want, what do they need. Ask folks what are their shopping habits. For me, being pretty much primarily in a house for the last 5 or 6 weeks, one of the things that I do with my resources is a couple times a week, I try to make sure that I support as many small businesses as I can. So that includes going out, picking up breakfast or dinner from different small neighborhood businesses. So ask questions. It's very easy. It doesn't cost any money at all to find out what the shopping habits are during COVID-19 of the folks that follow you. And speaking of salons, Tan, there's a lot of folks that I know of who are actually prepaying for their salon services. So, for folks who, bald head, one of the things I just started learning how to shave my head, a few weeks ago. So, but there's folks who are actually sending $25 in every week or every other week to their barber or to their stylist or to a nail tech, and kind of pre-scheduling appointments, a month or two from now, just to help out, their favorite entrepreneurs. Let me see. How can you turn a pivot into products or services? About 2 months ago, right before the shutdown, I was working with a new startup business. It's called Takeout Team. And Takeout Team, which is located in Wilkinsburg, is a delivery service. So kind of like what Ms. Cook said earlier in the call, with Takeout Delivery, Takeout Team, what they're doing is they're partnering with neighborhood stores, corner stores. They're partnering with bars and neighborhood restaurants that don't have currently a delivery service. And so they're providing that niche service to the established business and to the community. So there's two businesses kind of partnering together, making a pivot so that both businesses will be able to grow during a crisis, and folks can feel good about not necessarily having to cook 27 meals minimum per week. Let me see, I just have one or two other points, and let's see. Selling online, the folks who talked previous to me, you guys are all experts, you know, especially I'm gonna pick on Tan a little bit. There's a lot of folks who would, I believe, would be willing to be a part of a subscription group. Whereas, you know, I invest $20 a month to be in a private group or to get emails a couple times a week to learn about how to properly groom myself, to learn about style, and all those different things. So we're all experts. And for those of you who are experts, you can easily create some type of membership group, a subscription group, where you can have two components of it. You can have one where it's B2B or B2C, you know, so you can put tips and advice out for other entrepreneurs and also for consumers as well. And the last thing that I'll mention is that really during this time, one of the most effective things that you could do is to really engage with your previous clients, your current clients, and potential clients. So, you know, just ask as many questions as possible. Post questions on your social media pages. Don't always try to sell. For the most part, the people who follow you already know that you're in business and what products and services you offer, but also give out advice. Show some of your expertise by giving out information that's going to have value to someone's life, because they'll remember that. They'll remember that you didn't always try to sell me. And when I get some extra money or when I go back to work, I remember you and I'll be looking forward to invest into your business. So that's it.
No, those are all good points. So we do have a question from Autumn Metz, and we're running a little bit over, or we might spill over a little bit as far as time, but we'll be good. She's saying that I realize a lot of these opportunities and resources are located on the east side of Pittsburgh. Do you know or can refer someone as qualified as these panelists for folks in the northern region?
Is that for me or is that for everyone?
I'm on the south side. I travel.
I think it's for everyone, but Bernard, you are the Connect King. You know.
Well, you know, I mean, since Autumn said northern region, you know, I mean, you know, the first resource that I'm going to mention is RCI. So, you know, come on down to the North Shore. I don't know of any entrepreneur organizations further north, but, you know, RCI would be my first choice.
Definitely. We're going to, for the sake of time, we're going to turn it over to Juan for a little bit. He's going to lend some words to us, and then we'll close out shortly.
Hey, thank you all, and congratulations on all of your pivots. I just wanted to throw a couple of different things out there and just piggyback off of how Bernard eloquently pushed these things here. Over the last couple of weeks, we, as Riverside Center for Innovation, working there, and we've been asked to help. A lot of you, I heard Samantha and Tan saying the different things, like for instance, Tan, I was on a call the other day when you said there's the barbershop and those masks. If clients don't come in, they need to have masks. Maybe you could start having your mask at other barbershops to purchase, so people come in, they could actually purchase those masks. And for Samantha, I heard her say that she wanted to get out of the face mask or the face mask industry piece. But I'm going to throw something out there. We've been looking at how we want to reopen this whole economy, and we're looking at various industries. So everybody who's on the call, I know Lucille Plummer's on the call, and she does transportation for the airline services. But then again, I'm on all these other calls, and what I'm hearing in Asia's there, and I don't know how this works with food, the Greater Pittsburgh Food Bank, but many senior high-rise folks are not getting food there. So with the transportation that Lucille has, and even the organization that the company that Bernard mentioned, they need to reach out to state legislators and to these other places to get to the seniors. We're missing their market right there where seniors are not being able to provide food. And when that food, those food boxes are being given away free, it's always you have to be in a car. But the seniors can't make it, especially in this Mon Valley area. So I just wanted to throw those different types of ideas out there. But we have industries that we need to really start focusing on. So when I talk about the plastic, and I was so glad I heard you say, Samantha, that you use Proto-Haven. Look, we have an office building. We have conference rooms. We have a community center. There's thousands of companies that have conference rooms. I need someone to customize, make sneeze shields that sit in between these that need to be plastic. I need somebody that can do that. Whether it's you, I'm reaching out to any of our construction firms. I know Tina is on this call. Somebody, there's a potential market that corporations are going to need to rethink the way offices need to be set up. So it's not that you're pivoting, and I'm so glad you got your 45,000 orders, but then you can also take those face shields as we get to the airlines, and there's everybody, I'm just throwing this out to everybody, is we have the food industry, the way restaurants are going to have to operate next. You can be making customized aprons for individuals and different things. And also, people are not going to feel comfortable wearing a mask, but if those plastic face shields are made to address off of ball caps some sort of way, that you customize them all, I'm saying to all of you on this phone, however you customize it. And the only reason I'm throwing this out there, because I was on a call with this person earlier, is Arnold's Tea. If his workers need to have an Arnold's Tea cap with Arnold's on it, with a plastic face shield coming down, that's a potential market. So I just want people to start thinking how the airline, how flight attendants might need to be able to use things. It's a new normal that we're moving forward in. And we as Pittsburghers and disadvantaged entrepreneurs should joint venture, as we're talking about, and I'm going to plug our joint venturing workshops webinar again next week, on how we can joint venture. There's several different things that are out there. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Look at these needs, these industries. You have retail, food and hospitality, the hotel industries, nursing homes. Let's not forget about nursing homes, the mask that the workers need at the nursing homes. That's where they're the hotbeds right now. And how do we make smocks and different things for those individuals? So I just wanted to throw all those out there and to let you all know that RCI is here to be connectors for everyone. We're here to connect and partner with Bernard, and as we try to do anyway and moving forward, how do we connect our entrepreneurs? Unfortunately, take this very critical time in our area, but to be able to capitalize and tell these stories. We want to be able to make sure we can tell your stories. So please reach out to us. My email address is jg@riversidecenterforinnovation.com. And please reach out to us. We want to be able to get your stories told out there so people can know on Facebook and different places that what we're doing here in Pittsburgh to shift this culture that has collapsed for many years, and how we're addressing the needs and coming out there and being leaders for all of ourselves. So with that being said, I'm going to turn it back over to James, and I think he's going to give it the closeout and pitch ourselves again, register for Riverside Center for Innovation, become a member of the DBRC, and I'll turn it back over to James.
Definitely. I appreciate those words, Juan. You definitely gave out some great ideas as far as us being flexible in our thoughts and creative in the midst of this turbulent times in our economy. We want to extend a big thank you out to our speakers today, Asia, Sam, Samantha. I gave you, I shortened your name, Tan, and Bernard. But also, please feel free to find our future webinars, including the one joint venture that we got up and coming next Thursday at 2:30 p.m. that will be available on our website. Also, please register for the DBRC at dbrcpittsburgh.org. You can find our website at riversidecenterforinnovation.com. And also, last but not least, please fill out the survey that we have in the link in the chat line. We want to hear from you, so we make sure that we bring across webinars that kind of cater to your needs. We're extremely thankful for you guys attending this Zoom conference today, and we will be connecting with you again soon. Take care, stay healthy, and stay safe. Goodbye.